This episode effectively revolves around the ongoing clashes of personality between Lister and Rimmer. At this stage in the series, the clashes had never been a major plot point in an episode, until now. The episode begins with a dull and laborious scene in the drive room. Rimmer and Lister are going through administrative tasks, much to Rimmer's enjoyment and Lister's displeasure. This scene has a few funny jokes, but mainly sets up the conflict for the episode. The drive room set is lit fantastically here, and there are a few more scenes in this set than in future echoes. The following scene involves Lister visiting a ship bar where a flashback scene begins to play. The flashback scene works pretty well, establishing Lister and Rimmer's social statuses aboard ship. The lighting is very good here. You really get the sense that this is a chaotic disco bar. The scene then fades back to the same shot with only Lister. On a more depressing note, this scene does hint at feelings of immense isolation and loneliness. This is a British comedy, it can't be too upbeat. Lister decides to sit the all-important exam, purely so he can be ranked above Rimmer and bring back Kochanski as a hologram for one night. Rimmer, meanwhile, finds himself with a different left arm, the hairy, tattooed left arm that once belonged to Peterson, a friend of Lister's. This segment in the episode works surprisingly well, especially when the arm ends up going against Rimmer's control. The very next scene is an early example of a great scene featuring the cat. The humour is simplistic and somewhat repetitive, though that is the intention. If there was ever a scene that established Cat's love of fish, then here it is. The cinema scene involving the Scutters is brief. The small set really feels like a genuine cinema. The lighting gives the sense of a small and cheap cinema which fits in with the oval aesthetic of the ship and the show at the time. They had already appeared by this stage in the series, but I'll just mention it here. The Scutters' props look fantastic. My only criticism is you don't really get a proper look at them here. When we next meet Lister, he's revising for his exam, which is quickly revealed to be the chef exam, much to Rimmer's annoyance. This scene has a few attempts at good jokes, but they don't really land for me. In terms of the story, this scene is pretty crucial. The best aspects are the clashes between Rimmer and Lister. It's a real highlight of this episode, but more generally the first two series. The next noteworthy scene is the exam scene. Kochanski enters the exam room as a hologram. This is later revealed to be Rimmer in disguise. Ultimately, in what was such a pivotal scene, the opportunity for great jokes and storytelling is squandered. The scene is mainly carried by the performances of Craig Charles, Claire Grogan and Chris Barry. The episode then ends with Lister implying that he had passed by suggesting Rimmer call him Sir. This ending was mildly amusing. Overall, this episode was the weakest of Series 1 to date. It had some good jokes, a decent plot, but often feels underwhelming and lacking the world-building specifics of the previous two episodes. The next episode is Waiting for God. If you liked this video and you are interested in what else I do, why not check out my other videos that I've made so far? And if you're really interested, why not click subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video.